What's the topic?
Well, the topic is why the hell are we doing this? And
doing what?
Why are we doing? Why are we putting together a YouTube video? Why are we putting in the effort to make a YouTube video of us talking at each other? And is it vanity? Are we so vain as to think that we have interesting things to say? Well, yeah, that's probably like, if you had to like pin down a single sentence answer, I'm pretty sure that would be pretty close.
Maybe a little bit, although I temper it somewhat. I think I only have like a few things to say that might be interesting to somebody. Maybe not most people. But on top of that, I think everyone does, for the most part. They all have, a lot of people have their own little niche of interesting things to say. So everyone can make videos like this and get away with being vain.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with vanity. Unless you're blinded
Maybe
by it.
Maybe moderate amount.
Well, unless you're blinded by it, right? Like, you know, you can be a vain person and still be a good person. You know?
Yeah.
This is an interesting
but
thought.
To answer the question...
But yeah.
Why videos online? Why YouTube? I was just thinking I haven't been watching YouTube videos for all that long. I started about a couple of years ago. I'm a programmer, so I just put it on in the background and I can multitask. So I'm chewing through videos pretty fast.
Right.
Every day.
We're both programmers.
Like hours and hours.
And we listen to a lot of content all the time.
There's a lot of content.
Yeah. It's like, you know...
I listen to all kinds of stuff.
And some people listen to, like, music and stuff like this. We just listen to talk YouTube. Just like talk radio.
Yeah, as long as it's a talking head.
Yeah. Yeah, we just...
Or just a disembodied voice or something.
Yeah.
Like this video.
Right.
Yeah. Disembodied voices.
Right now, you know, we're just looking at a audio thing. We're not even doing any video at all. We're not looking at each other at all.
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just on the phone. I'm in the car.
Yeah.
I got some time.
Yeah. So it's not we're not doing anything that we wouldn't listen to. which goes to show just how shitty of things we listen to.
We have conversations like this all the time where we just talk about whatever's interesting in the day. And I figured, like, as long as we can get this recording thing to be really, really easy.
Yeah, then we
to have, like, hardly any footprint at all.
Right.
We're ready to go. You know, we've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, we already talk like this all the time. This is a regular thing that we have been doing. We just haven't been recording it. And so...
Yeah, so I just figured we could just press that record button that's just waiting there.
Right, and then just put it out there. That's, I guess, part of the thing. But I'd also like to...
find it interesting, great.
Well, and I'd also like to think that it's nice to have at least some of the philosophy that we discuss saved and for somebody to find. Right? Like...
Oh, yeah. Posterity, like you say.
You're right. Well, and like...
Just put it out there. Whatever.
Well, and like, we've had like friends who have benefited from listening to us talk in ways that are discussion oriented and not hardcore debate or like, you know, just people talking about the news of the day or about interesting concepts, right? That can help people sort of try to work out their differences and maybe not attack ad hominem or attack people, you know, directly, but attack ideas, right? Because we can disagree about things, and eventually, I'm sure we're going to break into some sort of disagreement, and it's really interesting. I imagine because I've been told it's pretty interesting to watch two people go at it like that. And I guess you just kind of have to hear it.
Can be.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, we've been talking for a long time. I don't know if it happens all that much.
Yeah.
We just agree with everything you say.
Well, no, we don't. We don't agree with everything you say. You bastard!
It's like I'm talking to a mirror here.
Yeah, yeah. You know, we never disagree. It never happens.
I think you just did, honestly. Although I was lying, so I don't blame you.
But yeah.
But yeah, why? So why are we doing this? Why we have like a topic generally, and that topic is interesting stuff.
Right, and the topic today is why the hell are we doing this?
That's pretty interesting, I guess.
Well, I wanted to get to the bottom of it because I hadn't heard, you know, you're just like, hey, we should do this, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, you went on a trip for quite a long time.
Yeah, and then you got.
And I was just very stir crazy, like consuming content, and never having anybody to talk to about it.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of weird stuff that really everyone has to be on board, or you're just don't. It's not fun to talk to.
Yeah, well, it's not,
to other people, and you're like,
it's not fun to talk to somebody that is going to immediately disagree with everything that you say. Well, at least not consider, you know, what you're saying. It can be very frustrating to talk to somebody and they won't even they'll just dismiss it offhand, which is frustrating.
I'll ask them.
Yeah,
I'll ask them to take me seriously for just this moment,
right?
While I have something to say, and then afterwards you can just go on with your life and act as if we never had this conversation.
Yeah,
then I'd be happy with
that. Right. Yeah, I don't.
Everyone makes up their own mind.
Right. That's fine. But more often than not, it ends up being, you know, no, you're just plain wrong, right? And that's not really fair because we're just plain wrong.
I entertain a lot of weird stuff.
It's true.
I disagree with a lot of what I hear. So,
right.
But I'll still entertain it.
Hell,
you'll put in effort.
You'll argue with a lot of things that you disagree with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll keep listening. I'll be like, I'm still listening to some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
a lot of people just don't. They don't want to put their mind through all that.
Right, because it's
through the ringer like that. But
yeah. That's interesting. I don't know why. It's good exercise. Good mental exercise.
I guess it's not for everybody. I don't know. Like, a lot of people aren't conditioned to find that entertaining.
Maybe.
I think it is like exercise.
Yeah.
Like critical thinking exercise.
Yeah.
To be able to entertain something without immediately deciding whether you believe it or not.
Right. You have to wait until you have had all the information, or at least have thought it through before you decide whether or not we don't even don't even like the term belief, right? We've discussed that.
I don't think we ever really have enough information.
Yeah.
You could be constraining what you think for a long time. Just keep looking and searching.
Yeah, you could
find more and more.
You would never be able to find
never enough
to actually legitimately believe something, right?
Yeah. I mean, seeing is believing, except for illusions. Evidence is believing, except for badly interpreted evidence or errors in the data.
Or errors in the data, or, you know, your brain is in a jar and just being fed electrical stimuli and you think that that's evidence, right?
What if this whole thing that we see around us is really just the matrix?
Right.
And all the evidence is fabricated.
So then...
what are you going to do now?
What are you going to do now?
Where's your worldview?
How true is that?
Was fake. Yeah, so basically I've settled on what I call pan-agnosticism.
Yeah, you know nothing?
Well, I just sort of don't commit to anything. But you don't need to commit to anything to acquire knowledge very quickly. And in fact, In fact, it actually ends up helping you a lot to not commit.
Right.
You prep yourself a lot better. Your brain is more able to receive new knowledge. You're able to learn better.
Right. Right.
It is good exercise.
Yeah, because you can understand somebody's point of view a lot easier if you're not committed to your own point of view.
Yep.
Right? And that's very useful.
I think that's kind of what we talk about, or at least that's where I feel like I'm stronger than other people, because a lot of people don't.
You're smarter than your average bear?
Think they're not epistemologists or whatever.
Yeah.
Epistemologists.
Well, they don't.
I'm not really either. I'm more like armchair epistemology.
Yes.
But it actually affects me as a programmer very thoroughly.
Right.
I think that epistemology just makes it hard to learn anything, let alone software. And software is as complex as most things can get. Some software is as complex as anything, because you can simulate anything with software. So we're creating worlds out there in software, and it can get complex. So that we're going to be able to build it. And so being able to build something is proof that you understood how to build it. And that's actually a key point. You can prove that you know something because you're able to build something as a result of it.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting.
So you really can know stuff. So what does it mean that I don't believe anything and I still know stuff? And I know that I know stuff.
Well, it's just
what happened is I decoupled belief from certainty. Or I decoupled, knowing things from certainty.
Right. And so you don't need to be certain about what you know.
Right. No, I just say things like, it's my understanding that this is as it, it is like this. How it's like, it is this way, this thing. And I understand this. You don't need to say that you believe it. It just is your understanding, and that's a much stronger statement.
Right, than saying, I know something for certain, because that's pretty easy for people to knock down with, pretty much any Descartesian or basic philosophy. You can't be certain of any knowledge, right? Hume alone, right?
And a lot of people will use the term to know to mean you're never really certain. So they'll say things like, well, you never know. You never really know something. And what they mean is you never feel certain about it.
Right.
You never can be certain. It's never possible to be certain. And that's what they mean by know, but I think that's a conflation with the feeling of certainty. It's not what knowledge is actually. So it's a bad colloquial use of the term to know.
Yeah,
it's more like baggage.
It's know with a little k, right? Like God with a little g.
Yeah. Well, like I said before, knowledge is made out of guesswork. And guesses you have, Oh, yeah. Certainty you don't.
Right. So how can we tell what guesses are better than others?
Well, they end up fitting into a framework. You'll have a theory, which is just a big logical framework made out of guesses that attempt to describe the way things are. Or they do explain the way things are. But you don't know, in the sense of you don't feel certain, you cannot feel certain that that is how reality is. But you speak to your model as if, you speak to the theory as if that's the way it is. And if it ever is wrong, no biggie, just revise it.
Right.
A theory is a model. It's a simulation.
So you sort of take on models one after the other when one is disproven and a better model comes along.
Yeah.
Right.
As long as you have another model that can replace it.
Right.
And it's better. And you can tell objectively if an explanation is better than another one.
How?
There's a lot of properties of explanations that make one better than another. Of all kinds. There's all kinds of properties. One is its breadth, another is its depth, right? So it could be a very big theory, like physics level theory. It could be a very deep theory, or it could be both. You could go into details,
right.
Talking in detail about small things. It could be very concise. A concise theory is usually very good, so rather than verbose. So you're carrying a lot of information and not a lot of words. And it's very clear. So if it's very understandable, makes it a good theory.
Right.
Or, sorry, good explanation.
Well, now, understandable, do you mean understandable to yourself? Is part of this...
Oh, well, anybody.
But I mean...
So...
I mean, like...
people understand things differently.
Right. So
there is complexity in there.
Yeah, there's complexity in the statement that an explanation being understandable is a requirement for it being good.
Yeah. But I think it's still a desirable trait. You don't want an explanation that's generally like really hard to understand what you're trying to say.
Right.
But a lot of times you'll have to tailor the message to the audience too.
Right. And so in doing so, the explanation... So then do you think that there's a distinction between the explanation and the understanding? Or in essence...
Yeah, there is.
The outward explanation...
The explanations impart understanding.
Right.
They have a relationship.
Right.
They're different concepts, but they're related.
But they are related.
So the better an explanation imparts an understanding, that's one good quality of an explanation. That's the things we look for. Another is being well connected with other explanations and evidence. So if it's well connected, if it has lots and lots of associations, it tends to be better.
Right.
Okay, so well-connected explanations tend to be better than explanations that don't have deep connections with other ideas. Basically, the more connections you have, the more you have to test. The more
constraint
potential there is for failure.
Right.
Yeah, it's constraint.
The greater ability for the explanation or the explanation to fail, and yet it does not fail, the better it is. Right?
Yeah. It's close to the idea of falsifiability. Kind of.
Right.
But I call it constraint. Constraint is a big term for me because it's you can keep piling constraint on your theories indefinitely.
Right. Because there's always more data in the universe to be gathered and applied, right?
Yeah, we could actually go into how to prioritize that process because it's really important to do that efficiently.
Well, I'm sure
that'll be another video.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. And that will be another topic for another day. But for now, you're out of time, and I gotta get to the cutting floor. So I guess we'll have to say, see you later, alligator.
Yeah. All right, see you next time.
Yep, bye.